Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name's Nick Bryant, and I'm really pleased because I'm out and about today, as you can see. I'm in the offices of Arthur C. Towner Limited, and I'm with the Managing Director, Oliver Towner. Good morning, Oliver.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well.
Good. Thank you for asking me in. It's a pleasure to be
worries.
amongst you and this great business. Now, there's a lot of people in East Sussex that probably know who you are and what you do, but for those that don't, there are family-run undertakers and stonemasons, and they've been serving people of East Sussex since 1875. I mean, that's 6 generations, I believe.
Yeah.
Oliver, can we go back to 1875?
I can certainly try, yeah.
and see how we got to where we are today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my family, a chap called Thomas Towner, first came to St Leonard's with James Burton, the architect, who sort of built St Leonard's. Came down as a builder and helped him build the town of St Leonard's.
Yeah.
His son, I think it was either his son or his grandson, Frederick Edward, learnt what he could from Thomas about sort of building and woodwork and carpentry, and ended up being one of the people in town that could make a coffin, which is quite a common historical story for how people become undertakers.
Yeah.
And so that sort of is how we got started in 1875. His son Arthur C. Towner then incorporated the business, became a limited company, which is why the name is Arthur C. Towner and not Frederick Edward Towner. And then it's sort of gone through the family, sort of father to son, the entire way for 6 generations now, and I've just had my boy as well, aptly named Arthur C. Towner.
Excellent.
Because we're not very creative. So he may, as the 7th generation, want to do this. He might not, but we'll see.
It's interesting because it wasn't your choice of career, was it?
No,
You wanted to be an actor, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's completely different.
Absolutely.
Just one day, your father went, right, we need you in the business.
Yeah, Dad basically went, right, boy, here are the keys, have fun, and that was it. that was the handover that I got. So
what year was that? When was that?
So I became MD 5 years ago. So that was 2021.
Okay, that's just after COVID.
Yeah, I came back sort of 2 years before that as I was here for like 6 months as a project manager, and then about a year and a half as a company director.
Okay.
So sort of helping Dad run the company, but he was still here during sort of the beginning bits of COVID, the end of Brexit, that kind of thing. But then when COVID really took off, that was when I was in the hot seat.
Yeah. Well, it was a great baptism of fire.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great time to start. Yeah.
And is your father still involved, or
no,
is he
not
literally
no,
to you?
he's enthusiastically retired, I would say.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm sure he keeps his eye on you. Maybe, I don't know what father.
No, not at all. I mean, he's done it for 50 years. I think he got to a point where it was like, you know what, I've done my time at the mast. I'm ready to, let me do it now. So,
Well, you're so well known in the area and such a reputable company, and it's so you're obviously doing a good job. Just going on to funerals and getting into the topic, what does make a good funeral? What the difference is?
I think I've always said there is no right way to do a funeral, but there are a lot of wrong ways to do a funeral.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
My personal view, and that's all I can really comment on, because as I said, there's no right way to do it, is it should be deeply unique and it should be deeply personal to the person that's died.
Yeah.
I've always thought that a funeral should be, as much of them as is possible.
Okay.
You wouldn't really have 2 weddings that are the same. You'd always have something that is unique to them, or a little nod to the couple that are getting married. I think a funeral should be the same.
Yeah.
So you hear all these stories of people feeling that they have to go to the crematorium and sing all things bright and beautiful, or they have to go to a church. Of course you don't. You can be as creative or as unique as you want to be, and that for me is what makes a good funeral.
Yeah. And when we spoke earlier, you told me that you can actually just pay for your ashes to be done, and that's it. And no one there, just send send it off there, and you
can have
and people do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And is that because of cost, or is that because it's just what they prefer?
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think there is a massive element of cost, because dying is really expensive in the UK. It shouldn't be, but it is very expensive.
Interesting. So is it not like that in other countries then?
Not particularly, not as much, I don't think. I think it is out of whack in the UK. I think it's out of proportion. And the flip side being that I think it gives people an excellent opportunity to then do kind of what they want to do after that as well. So you can sort of save a bit of money there and then spend the money elsewhere.
Can you tell me about the costs of how much a funeral is?
Absolutely. So there are numbers that are thrown around every year as to what the average cost of a funeral is. So for a direct cremation, it's somewhere between something like 1.6 and 1.8 thousand pounds.
Okay.
So it's quite a lot, and that's even just sort of the most basic option.
Yeah.
And then they can range really anywhere from, I think the most expensive one we've ever done is into 5 figures. It's above 10,000.
Yeah, right.
But there is no need to spend a load of money on a funeral at all.
No.
I think the way that we work is just to work with people to basically say, what would you like to have as a starting point? And then if we sit there and we go, and this is how much that would look like, and the family sit there and go, it's quite a lot of money. And then we go, okay, so let's work out what we can do to bring that down for you.
Yeah, that's nice that you can be bespoke like that.
Yeah,
not
we have
everyone's
to.
got that kind of money, have they?
Yeah.
And you do actually offer finance, I saw on the website as well, which, if people have to, they have to, don't they? Which is probably very handy.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned to me also, which I found quite fascinating, that anyone can be an undertaker. There's no governing body. There's no ruling.
Yeah, currently we're hoping. I mean, we're due an announcement this summer from Wes Streeting about now he's decided to take over the reins, but that's obviously going to be on hold at the moment.
Yeah.
So we were expecting an announcement this summer about regulation in the funeral industry and what that will look like, because there is already regulation in Scotland.
Right.
In America, for example, you have to be fully licensed to be able to be an undertaker, but in the UK at the moment, there's nothing to stop anyone from opening a shop tomorrow as an undertaker and caring for people, which is terrifying, personally.
Well, they've got to know how to build a coffin as well, haven't they?
Well, you can order them in from a lot of places.
Oh, of course.
There are people that will, coffin manufacturers that will sort of build them for you and send them to you all fully dressed and everything if that's what you wanted. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And you're involved in some of the governing bodies.
One of the trade bodies, one was SAFE. I sit on the National Executive Committee for, so that was a trial by fire when I started to sort of get to grips with that. But that's been an amazing sort of learning experience to learn how the sort of decisions of an industry work.
Yeah.
And working with things like regulation, getting ready for that, trying to encourage that and get buy-in from members it's been great.
Yeah, and you can learn a lot from other funeral directors, I guess, can't you? The way they do things or some mistakes they've made.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think, is it quite unique that you also have stonemasonry as well? Do other funeral directors have that?
I don't know if it's unique. I think it's probably not as common as it used to be.
Okay.
The guys up there are so fantastic, and I think there are a number of sort of independent funeral directors in the area, but not particularly many of them have stonemasons.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of one of those things where the stonemasonry side of someone's business maybe has got really successful in the area because everyone else has dwindled, so it means that actually maybe they stop doing funerals and just focus on stonemasonry. Whereas we're fortunate enough to still have both going.
Yeah.
And we've sort of been stonemasons since 1875 as
have
well.
You?
So
Right. It all goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But so I guess other people come and use other funeral directors. You sell stones to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
That builds relationships.
Yeah.
And that's right. That's just. Let me just tell everyone where we are. We're in St Leonard's, which is your head office, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds from the sea.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. I came down at the weekend actually. Had lunch. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And your stonemasonry is literally the next road across, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much just up behind one row of shops, just out the way where we keep our vehicles as well. So.
Yeah, which makes logistics very easy for you.
Very easy,
isn't it? Yeah. Now, you've entered an award. I think someone on your behalf has entered an award for the Lloyd's Business Awards later this year.
Yep.
For Family of the Year Award, which you should do very well at.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Part of that award is explaining your sort of your direction and your ethos behind profit.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about why that's important to you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's something deeply personal.
Yeah.
So I'm born and bred in Hastings. I've sort of lived here the vast majority of my life, apart from when I was in London for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And the community here is so special to me that, things like Pirate Day, things like Jack in the Green, amazing events that we have.
Yeah.
Being able to put back into the community who are the reason that my family have been able to stay in business for 150 odd years. Yeah. For me, it's really, really important, and to see everyone struggling at the moment, because it's hard out there. Life is hard. My background in the arts means that I'm keen on giving back to sort of arts programs and supporting local theatre companies and music festivals and things like that, and just trying to make sure that people who want to do things for the community that may struggle or get the funding to are still able to do them. Yeah. It's just, for me, that's not just a core part of the business, that's a core part of just being a good person, I think, or trying to be at least. Yeah.
And with your name locally as well, it's not that people expect it from you, but they probably do.
I think some people might be fed up of seeing our name on certain events and things. I mean, who'd have thought an undertaker would ever sponsor Pirate Day, but here we are.
Just shows you how flexible you are,
really.
We
try.
Yes. Love that. Now, tell me about your branches, because you're not just here, you've got others, haven't you?
Yeah, so we're Norman Road, so St Leonard's.
Yeah.
We've been in Norman Road the entire 150 years.
Wow.
We had to move because the last office just up the road got bombed. With my great granddad inside, so then now we're here.
Yeah.
And then we've also got Bexhill and Battle as well.
Okay, all right. And you serve all of East Sussex. Do you ever find yourself getting clients outside of that? Or,
So one of the things we went through towards the end of last year that happened quite a lot was we would have a number of families from London phone us to say, our loved one's died, can you look after the funeral?
Yeah.
Because they'd look at sort of prices in London, which are very, very expensive, and then they'd realise that it would cost less to use us and then to pay the mileage for us to go to London to do the funeral. So that, the problem with us is that the operational cost of that, of having to go to London for a day, the travelling and back again is, it does have a knock-on effect. So
yeah, that's the logistical thing. But I guess you want to help people no matter where they are. Yeah. What do you get? What makes you get out of bed in the morning? Why do you love doing this? It's a people business, right?
It's a people business, absolutely, and that extends not just to the team here, because I love seeing my team succeed. I love seeing them, confronted with a challenge.
Yeah.
How do we overcome that challenge?
Yeah.
What does a solution look like for us and for the family that we're sort of caring for? Having my son recently has changed that a lot as well. The reason I'm here, it's added a lot of context to why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And there was a lovely moment. There was the Good Grief Festival in Hastings this weekend, just gone, which was sort of a 4-day event to talk about death, dying and bereavement, and lots of different events and stuff like that going on. So that Saturday we took one of our hearses and one of our mushroom coffins down onto the seafront, and we were just talking to people. And there was one young kid, bless him, who must have been, between like 9 and 11, really quite young, standing at the back of the hearse looking quite quizzical at it, and ended up asking a couple of questions about it. And I said, do you see hearses very often? Like, is this new to you? And he said, no, normally when I see them I get really, really scared. And I was like, oh, why do you get scared about it? Had a chat with him about death and losing people, and it's sad and things like that. And at the end, as he was, bless him, I don't know where this kid's parents were, but I sort of said to him, you next time you see a hearse, are you going to be scared? He went, no, actually I think I'm going to be quite happy, because it means that person was loved. Yeah. And I was like,
yes, your job is done. Your work is done.
That just for me completely summed up what that day was about.
What a lovely story.
It just made my day. So that, I think we don't talk about death and dying enough in the UK. I think people can be snuck up on, ambushed by grief really easily. And so having events like that, I want to do more of that, just to be able to talk to people, to try and dispel a bit of that ahead of time. Yeah, no, I like that. That's really cool. And it's making people realise that it's more of a celebration of their life rather than than they're dead. Sorry for putting it, so bluntly. Because I think, I must admit, when I go to a funeral, and they're all different, if I get some really nice words from the celebrant or the vicar or whoever it is, I actually feel comfort. And that's what you want at that time, isn't it? Absolutely. And it is perceived, like that young child, it's perceived that it's sad and it's it's wrong, and but it's just part of the life cycle, isn't it? Yeah. And I think we as a society and a culture just try and remove it as much as we can from our sort of everyday life. We hide things out, private ambulances. It's not an ambulance, is it? No. And things like that, where we try and sort of hide it to the purists, to the point where I think that's sort of why direct cremations are popular now, because people don't want the fuss. Yeah. We want to hide it away as much as we can, but someone has lived a life, someone's been loved, and that's a story that needs to be told and remembered and shared and celebrated. So, definitely. I love that. Oliver, tell us a little bit about your team that you've got here. Okay. How many staff have you got? So across both businesses, so here in the Stonemasons, we've got about 35 members of staff. Right. Okay. So we've got sort of ranging from different job roles. So we've got an operations manager, we've got an HR manager, we've got a health and safety chap. We have a lady in accounts that now looks after all of our invoices, make sure everything's on point, coming in and going out. We've got a team of funeral directors. We've got an admin manager who pretty much runs the office. Yeah. Team of funeral operatives that do a lot more of the sort of the clinical work behind the scenes. Amazing team of front of house. And then the Stonemasons, we've got a general manager up there, workshop manager. We've got some admin support up there, and then the actual Stonemasons themselves. So it's a lot of people to look after. Yeah, it's a big operation at times. Do you get a high turnover of staff? Funny question, but I don't know whether people go from different funeral directors to others. Or? I mean, we We have had recently, the last couple of years, we've had quite a lot of turnover for a variety of different reasons. We like to say that if someone sort of comes here and they get past the first lunchtime, they're here for years.
Yeah.
Because it can be quite a difficult job to kind of get your head around.
I can imagine, yeah.
You know, it can be quite daunting at times. It can be quite emotional at times. So, you know, I like to think we've got such a supportive team here that, excuse me, that sort of look after each other when those moments happen.
Yeah.
And some people, it's a switch in people's brains. Some people just can't distance themselves from the work itself, and so they can struggle.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, I guess.
Not in the slightest, no.
You mentioned earlier about a mushroom coffin.
Yes, I did.
Did you say that?
I did,
What is that?
It's a coffin that's made of mushrooms. It's got a bed of moss in it. It's sort of grown mycelium around like a hemp fibre to give it a bit of structure. But it's grown in about 7 days. And it completely decomposes, I think, in about 45 days, maybe 60 days, something like that. But they're quite expensive because we have to import them from the Netherlands.
Okay.
But they're stunningly beautiful things. They really are.
Are they different colours?
So it's pretty much just like an outside of a mushroom, like a white kind of mushroom colour. Oh, wow. And they're so soft and velvety. Yeah. It's just an amazing texture.
Yeah, like the top of a mushroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What's next for the business? How can you take it any further? What's your plan?
Yeah, so I mean, I've never had this plan to sort of expand the business. You know, I don't have this idea of sprawling across the southeast coast or anything silly like that.
Yeah.
So we use a computer system called Osiris.
Okay.
That Dad created with a chum of his about 38 years ago now.
Right.
And we've been using it the entire time.
Really?
And loads of companies have used it
across
the UK, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I said when I took over the business from my dad is, right, it works. I'm not going to change anything. Last 5 years, I've basically just been changing everything through necessity. And that now is culminated in creating a new piece of software to replace Osiris.
Right.
Because that now is sort of coming to the end of its life now.
Yeah.
And so we need a different option. So I've had to put my head to it and work with an amazing local company to sort of create this new offering for funeral software. So that's one avenue we're looking at.
Nice. And you said that to other funeral directors?
Hopefully at some point, if it
but
works.
Also, it's just going to really help streamline your business, I guess. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it works for you, then why wouldn't it work for someone else?
It being able to be that bespoke and having complete control over what we need it to do is key.
Yeah. Oliver, thank you so much for inviting me in. That's been really good. Is there anything that you want to talk about?
I don't particularly think so. I mean, I think we are as a business kind of, it is what it says on the tin, really. You know, we try and care for people as individuals, and everyone's got individual needs, and a funeral should be individual.
Of course.
So we don't have any of these packages or anything like that. It's just a case of being able to work with families to remember someone how they want to. Yeah,
get them to come in and talk to you and just explain what. And if anyone does want to get in touch, it's through your website. Just phone you up. Is it arthurctowner.co.uk?
Just towners.co.uk.
Just towners.co.uk. Yeah, that makes things simple.
Yeah, and if anyone's got any questions as well, you know, no matter how big or small or silly or whatever, you know, feel free to jump on the website, fill in one of the little form things, and I love talking to people about this stuff. So
yes,
more than happy to answer any questions people have got.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, so if anyone wants to get in touch with Oliver, I mean, all these details I'll put underneath the podcast as well, with the website details, so people can click on that and go and check it out. But in the meantime, I wish you really well. It's been really lovely talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
And we'll see you all for another podcast soon. So thanks very much. Cheers.